Hi everyone, thank you so much for visiting with me today. I am sure that you have all seen many videos on the subculture. You've probably seen many more videos than I have because I only watched one video, and that was Annie P's Beauty Defying Age, and I will leave the link down to Annie's channel listed down below. I thought that Annie did a phenomenal job with her review of the palette. She actually has 2 videos out. I didn't want to be influenced by anyone else's videos, ideas, or anything. I will be honest with you, I have seen quite a few posts on Instagram on the subculture palette. One of them I saw, whoever it was digging deeply into this palette. And I thought, okay, well maybe it's because I'm not 25 years old, but it would never occur to me in a million years to take a brush into any palette and just dig into it. I just don't, and maybe it's because I'm not 25. I'm not a makeup artist. I am an almost 60-year-old that has been using makeup for 45 years. When I picked up this palette, I swatched it, I thought, oh wow, it's a pressed pigment. I know that it's a pressed pigment because after being on YouTube for a year and a half, I have learned about such things. I have lots of cosettes. I don't have palettes. I have eyeshadows by Gazette that are pure pressed pigments. And I have Viseart palette. I've played around with Stephanie's Natasha Denona palettes. Any one of these palettes is going to get a kickback. Easy fix, don't put on your foundation first. That's my opinion. So when I applied my makeup, I did my eyes first, as I do when I am working with pressed pigment. If you take any pressed pigment, in my opinion, from what I have seen, if you dig that brush deep into it, wherever you place that brush, that's where you're going to get the majority of the product. I don't care if it's the Viseart palette, I don't care if it's the Natasha Denona palette, I don't care which palette it is, the Modern Renaissance, I have them. I've applied makeup with them. So it really astonished me that all of this was happening, and the reason I know is because when I turn up YouTube, all I see is subculture and I see the titles, and I'm not going to lie about it. I have seen the titles, but I haven't watched the video, so I really don't know what people are saying except for what I've seen on Instagram. One of them is the fallout. The other one is that wherever you place it, it goes all over the place, and that was on Instagram that they were saying it. But other than that, I thought, you know what, I'm not going to be influenced by what anyone has to say. I don't care who it is. I watched Annie's and I said, I'm not watching anyone else. I'm going to form my own opinion. I thought, when I first received this palette, I thought it was gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm sure that you have seen it if you've watched any of these videos. One of the pictures that I saw on Instagram was someone holding palettes like this. And what I assumed that they were doing was talking about the ingredients on it. So I picked up my 2 palettes and I looked at it. The first ingredient on the subculture, I believe, is talc. And I believe the first ingredient on the Modern Renaissance is mica. When I was teaching 4th grade, one of the subjects that I had to teach was science. One of the areas that I had to teach the most was about rocks and minerals. So the teacher in me came out, and I thought, okay, why are they talking or showing the backs when talc and mica are both minerals The only difference is that mica has shimmer. I teach this to the kids. That's the only reason I know. And talc is a matte. When Annie was showing it, I believe that one of the things that happened was that I noticed on her video, when the shades were kind of meshed, it kind of looked gray. So then the Marlene that works at the gallery, or has been working at the gallery with artists for the last, I don't know, 14 years, if you take shades like this shade right here and the yellow on the color wheel, those shades complement each other, but they're also opposite. And I remember my brother once creating a painting, and he had it, and he was showing me as he was adding these colors to the canvas, that when you take colors that are on the color wheel and you mix them together, you're going to get a sort of a gray. So that is going to happen with, for example, this one and this yellow, which is I can't see the names, but you know which one I'm talking about. This really pretty blue and this yellow. And then I just remember, because I remember my brother talking about it, and we have been trying mixing different colors together. And I thought, well, if that's what happens with acrylics or with oil paints, I'm sure that's the same thing that's going to happen with the shadow. So I did try it, and yeah, that's exactly what happened. You mix, those shades are going to complement each other, but if you try to mix them together, you're going to get a gray. As you notice, when I was applying the eyeshadow, I instead of doing placing the shadow and then immediately starting to blend, I packed it. And I did this because I didn't want the shadow to disperse. Not to mention that I was using very little shadows. Now that's just the way I apply makeup. I usually do my shadows that way. I will start with very little and then I build up on it, because my thinking is I could always add more, but if I want to take it away, then I'm going to have to remove everything, and I don't want to do that. So I start out with little and I start packing it on. Once everything is packed on, then I go back and I blend. Here's the negative that I find in a kind of a sense. I think that a palette should be functional, whether you're a beginner or whether you have experience, whether you go in with a light hand or you go in with a heavy hand. I think the palette should be functional for everybody if it's going to be a palette that is worthwhile purchasing. However, if you know how to, or have some knowledge of using a shadow, you should be able to see it and say, okay, well, I can't go in with a heavy hand with this. I don't know. That's just my opinion. And what do I know? I am not a makeup artist by any means. I'm a 6th grade teacher that teaches reading, and I am just having fun with makeup. But I wanted to give my opinion. Why? Because I did. Because honestly, I like the palette. I don't know what to say. I liked it. I didn't have any problems with it. You saw me applying it. I didn't have any foundation on. You didn't see, I think you saw that there was no fallout anywhere. Did I go in, you know, dipping my brush in there like crazy? No, I didn't. Honestly, I didn't do that. I just went in lightly and I applied my foundation. Am I going to say that you need to run out and buy this? Probably not. I think that given that this is such a pigment palette, maybe what you may want to do is when they're out at Sephora, I'm not sure what date it's actually going to be in store. I want to say it's August 15th, but honestly, I don't remember. You might want to go to the store and swatch it and play with it. I mean, they don't care. Or buy it and then take it back if it doesn't work for you the way you apply your eyeshadow. I hope you've enjoyed this look. Let me know what you think about the palette. Let me know if you bought it, if you are sending it back. But yeah, I would love to hear what you have to say about the palette, if you love the palette or if you hate the palette. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, you know, you're entitled to your opinion in the same way as I'm entitled to mine. I just really would love to hear from you. I appreciate you all stopping by and spending some time with me. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. And don't forget, ladies, follow your passion, whatever it may be. I'll see you next time. Bye.